Our lagoon.
Flies high, and the light of a billion stars sparkle in his eyes. So he sails on the sea.
Hello, well, I've given you an update on the cooler that I was making, my Yeti cooler. So it's all done, so here we go that's what it looks like all painted up. And what I can see is I had talked about putting these on. These were fiberglassed in, and then the bungee cords just come across the top. And then I have my two fiberglass loops in here. I got a little more bungee cord. I went with the thinner stuff, but maybe I should have stayed with the quarter. But right now, this will work. So that's always hooked up, and I have enough. I might put a knot here. I haven't decided, but right now, you just unhook those and go up, and there's the lid. All painted up. I didn't paint the inside. Yeah. And the one different thing that I did change is I was going to do the gasket here and here. Then after looking how it's set, I decided to go ahead and put the gasket actually on the top. And then I kind of ran just a gasket in here because when I did the lid, I wanted to make sure it wasn't too tight. It was probably went the other way, made it looser than I wanted it to be. So I moved the gaskets. Hey, it was design build. And these I know Costco just changed the milk jugs. They look like they're from like space or something. So in the inside, I didn't paint. I gotta wash it out now that the paint's dried. It's been sitting for about 3 or 4 days now. Maybe almost a week. So we're going to the Keys in May, and what I plan on doing is freezing 2 1-gallon jugs, which I'm going to say they're about what, 6, going to be like 12 pounds of ice, and then as they melt, we're only going to be in the boat for 5 days. So, and I did do some testing with my old cooler and the new cooler. I know this one's kind of like chicken scratch. Both coolers started around 74 degrees. And with 1 gallon, only 1 gallon of frozen milk in each one, and this one dropped down to 42 degrees was the coldest, and it maintained that for about 40 hours. And I was away, so when I did it, so the next time I checked it, it had gone up to 50, and it was all just water. The other Eagle cooler only ever went down to 47, was the coldest temperature, and it quickly rose. By 39 hours, most of the ice was gone, and it was already up to 49. And the next time we checked, it was just water, and it was up to 65, whereas this one was still down to 50. So obviously this one is much better. And you have to realize that was with all the open space. All there was a gallon jug of frozen water in the center. So you figure with the gallon jug, or 2 of these frozen plus the cold items in there, it performs much better than the Igloo cooler. So it'll be the good test in May when we finally get out on the boat for 4 or 5 days. I think it'll do well. And but that's it. It came out pretty much. I've thought about doing some blacks. I have some black fiberglass paint and throw some specks on it, kind of like I did my dinghy, but I haven't decided yet. I think I decided just going to leave it the way it is, but that was an option. We'll see. So that's the homemade Eagle Cooler all done. Put the lid on, reach over, clip. It's all sealed up. Thanks for watching. I have the cooler done. Just needs to be painted or lightly sanded and painted white. And as the bungees I have hooked up right now, I may do it differently, but that's how the bungees was planning on running. The only thing I'd like to have a loop here, so I'm doing a test. So I got my thermometer. We'll check the temperature inside the boxes. They both were 74 degrees in mine. What humidity was 26%, and then in my old Igloo cube cooler was 74 degrees and 24% humidity. And I brought this in from the garage today, so this was inside, so it came up to the same temperature as the cooler I made. So they've been in here for a while, so that's why I wanted to start with them the same. So we'll see. I'm going to check it. They're both 1 gallon frozen jugs of ice went in each one at 7:30 on the 17th of March, and I'm going to check them roughly every 12 hours. So I'm going to open them up and check the interior temperature and the exterior temperature about every 12 hours. That's what I'm figuring, because this way, not just looking at how long the ice melts, but this will also show, you know, typically you have to open a cooler, so why not? So let the test begin. And I figured anyway, I'm gonna wait another day or so for the last gel coats, or I mean the last epoxy coats to harden fully before I touch sand this and paint it. So I figured I might as well do the test now before I paint it. So here's the front clips. I shake foam and I just wrapped it with fiberglass strips. I'm gonna cover the sides now to make these totally solid. I wasn't gonna do that, but now I decided. So they're definitely in. The bungee cord's gonna come down here, wrap under here, and go across the top. And then on this side, and get to the other side. You can see this. There was foam in here that I've knocked out now, because the bungee cord is going to pass through there, and I'm going to come in and do a piece of fiberglass wrapping around this way, and I'm going to bring other layers across here to thicken this up, because I think it still needs to be a little thicker. But you don't want to work with. It's easier now working now that this is solid. I'll be able to add like 3 or 4 more layers at least. I'll probably do at least 4. So, and then so the bungee cord comes across the top, down through here, loops around, and goes back over to the other side and then underneath the front clips. So I gotta put a gel coat on the inside of the lid, and then I just finished doing the back clips, and I just added a whole gel coat to all the sides. I did the inside earlier today of the lid and the sides, and then over here I finished my front bungee hold downs, and I just added 2 more coats of glass on the side. Seemed a little weak, and then I'm gonna have to come back and resand those down and put a little gel coat on when I do the second coat. So I just came around and said put another gel coat all the way around. This will harden the rest of the day today, and then I'll add a coat to the bottom, on the top of the lid, and then I'm going to flip this over tomorrow. I'll sand these down first and flip it over, and I'll do the coat on the bottom, and then I'll come back and I'll hit these up too. So these should be fine. So the bungee cord's going to come over, down, loops underneath. So all you're going to do is grab it. I'm going to do a little knot here, so you can just grab that, pull it down, and lift it up, and then the lid will come off. So just about done. One more coat of epoxy and then we're going to paint her up.